Alright, next part is we have to design those tabs that attach to the wall. So basically what I want to do is I want to design it on this face here. So I'm going to change my view to look at this way. I'm going to just draw it next to it, and then I'll move it over. But before I do that, I have to make sure my UCX again is facing correctly. So I want to be able to see X and Y when I draw things. This tab or bracket that's going to be welded, or it might be folded out from this sheet metal, is going to be, so create a rectangle, select the point to start with, dimension, it's going to be 1 inch wide by 6 inch high. So 1, enter, 6, enter. Went reverse. Okay, and I can just rotate that around, like so. Oops. What's going on here? There we go. So that's going to be my piece that I'm going to add to this. Even though, actually, I was going to give it the thickness before. I kind of did it wrong. We should have drawn it on this face if we're going to do it this way. But that's alright, we can rotate it around. So it's no big deal. As long as your X and Y are right. That's the most important. Because then you can just rotate it all around in 3D rotate. We need to create those slots for the screws. So we're going to design keyhole slots, or sort of like that. With a diameter, bottom diameter of 0.285 and the top diameter of 0.175 and a height of 1.5. So to do that, you can do it in the rectangle or next to it and then just move it to position. It's up to you. I'm going to start with drawing a line, which is going to be the center line for the slot, and type in 0.5 for the distance. And I'm going to create both circles too. So the top circle is going to be diameter 0.175, and the bottom circle is going to be diameter 0.285. I'm going to move it over from the quadrant. If you can't select the quadrant, it's probably because you don't have the OSNAP quadrant option on. So make sure you have that on, otherwise this won't work. You move it from the top position here, so we have something like that. Next step will be we'll trim out the center, or you can use this command, which I usually never use. It's called, actually I can't find it here now, break. So it creates a break in an object. Oh, that break's a little big. So let's try this again. Break, select the object, first point. There we go. So it creates a break. This time, so you have to make sure you select the point for it. So again, modify, break, select the object, select the point. That didn't work. That's why I don't use this too much. Yeah, there you go. If you try it again, it works in the second time. I'm not sure quite why it does that. And then finally, we're going to do, you can draw a line and just trim it off in between too. That's the easiest way. So if that's not working for you, I would just draw 2 lines like that and trim it all out. Quick, easy, fast. If break's not working for you. Alright, next thing is we want to use a fillet, or we might have to use a 3-point arc to create this little arc here. So you go to fillet. I would say it's going to be about radius of a 0.125, 0.1. Let's try that. That's a little big. So I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Radius. Did I put radius? 0.05. Yeah, that looks about right. So the distance in between should be enough for a screw to pass through. And the screw size is about 0.170. So if I check the dimensions for this, from this point to this point, got 0.08. So actually that's too small. So you gotta play around till you get the perfect size where you can. Oh, that's the radius. Sorry. So it's a little bit. It's 0.16 right now. If I double that number, and I'm looking for 0.17. So I gotta make that a little bit bigger. So I had 0.10 for the radius for the fillet. I change it for radius 0.11, and that should be enough. Like so. And
what was the final radius? 0.05?
0.11. Change it.
0.11?
Wait. Yeah. Negative. So our spacing should be. What am I doing here? 0.13. 0.26. Oh, I'm sorry, I did that wrong again. What was it before? Diameter was 0.11, so I gotta do 0.06 for the radius. Sorry about that. This comes all with designing. Learning from those mistakes. Now we gotta finally dimension it. If it's not right, I'm just gonna call it quits. Yeah, let's just say that it is. Alright, that should be the total distance should be 0.17. So if that's not, it doesn't look right, but that's right. I'm gonna keep it as is. I can edit it later. What we want to do is center it over that bracket with about a 1-inch gap at the top, or a 1/2 inch, to give it the strength we need. So I'm going to move it over from the center to that, and you can mirror it or copy it over at a distance about, this one's about 4.5 inches. So you have something like this. The way you would give it a thickness without going to press pull and extruding and subtracting and all that, you do press pull. You just said press pull. Yeah. Instead of extruding, you just do press pull. And it's going to be the same thickness as our sheet metal, which is going to be 0.1046, which is 12 gauge. So we have a piece like that. What we need to do next is rotate it around using our 3D rotate, if you didn't draw it from the front view. And we're going to move it over. So move command from corner to corner, and then we're actually moving it down about 1.5 inches or more or less. You'll see once you put it in. It's a little bit too much because it's hitting that corner here. So I'm going to have to put it back up a little bit by 0.25 and so forth. So we have that piece. Now if we want, we can use that same piece for position here, but that's going to be too hard because the shape here is not perfectly square. So what we're going to have to do instead is use the convert, it's called extract edges. Other programs it's called convert entities. So I'm not going to need this sketch anymore. I'm going to delete, actually I might need the holes. I'll leave the holes. So I'm going to need that for the holes for this part here. What we want to do is convert entities, extract edges. So you select that command, you select the edge you want to extract, which is this top edge. I think I clicked with the surface. Okay, let's try it again. Extract. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it as is. So I extracted that. Should be able to have a copy of it. Nope. You know what? I'm going to. Okay, finally what we have to do is extract an edge over here. To do that, what you want to do is use the extract edges. Select the object. Select object. That is one found. That is correct. You click enter. And that should give you that line right there. If it doesn't, I'll show you why it doesn't. So from there, we're gonna we can just move over the whole item a little bit to use the extract to play around with these edges. I'm gonna remove everything except that one top edge. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff to be removed. What we want to do next is make sure our UCX is faced correctly, as in a front view. To do that, multiply your UCS, and we're going to offset about 1 inch. So I'm facing it from the front. You go to your offset command, and I'm staring a blank 1, and we're going to type in distance of 1 inch. We're going to offset this out, and what we want to do is cut a piece from these 2 lines. That's going to be our bracket. So it's up to you what shape and what size, as long as you don't go around the dip too far. I'm going to create mine about here and to this point. So my distance, if you're interested to know what's the length for mine, it's about 4 inches, which is pretty good. So I'm going to trim out the rest. If I can't trim it, there's a reason. Okay, there's a problem with trimming it. It's alright. There's an easy way to go around it. We'll use the fillet command. Make sure your radius is set at 0, and we'll fillet the parts together. See, sometimes trim doesn't work, but fillet does. And I think there's 2 lines here, that's why I'm having an issue. So if I delete this line, yeah. Oops, gotta trim that, I gotta fillet that edge. So I have this piece, perfect. Now I have those cutouts, which I need to use. It's gonna be a lot of playing around, because right now they're rotated and viewing the wrong way. I have to use the 3D rotate on a sketch. So, gotta play around until you see those slots in the right direction. Like so. Perfect. Oh, these guys didn't move. So maybe I just have to rotate these guys. There we go. And I'm going to I just need one of them to move it into position. So I make a copy. And I make sure you snap on to these edges, otherwise it's going to be somewhere in space. So I'm going to move it over, like so. The smaller holes should face up, otherwise it won't work. And you need at least 2 of these.